This is Boxman. Boxman is running an interesting program. Boxman only has 5 types of sensors on him, and he uses these to make the best guess of the reality around him, but his guess is limited. Boxman really lives inside of an unending universe. But he's not aware of it. Boxman didn't know because his program didn't tell him. Let's look a bit closer to see how some of his sensors work. This one is like a drum. It feels sound waves hitting it and transforms that into a signal. This signal is sent to its program for processing. Here's another sensor, which acts in a very similar way. This one is hit with light waves and turns that into a signal for processing. Boxman's sensors cannot collect all of the data around him. Its light sensor reacts to limited wavelengths. The sound sensor also reacts to limited wavelengths. In fact, all of its sensors are limited. Boxman's sensors send their data to its program for processing. Boxman's program is called
the will to receive.
The program doesn't realize that it's receiving limited data from its sensors, and it ignores most of the information it receives. This program,
the will to receive,
puts the data together to create an image of the reality around him. Boxman believes he lives in the world that his program tells him he's in.
Hello, David Mancini here, a simple student of Kabbalah. I've been learning about Kabbalah now for 8 weeks. If you can see my desk over here, I've been sitting at this desk 8 weeks now. Before I learned about Kabbalah, I was a business owner. I was running a bed and breakfast in Baie Saint Paul, a little town in Quebec. And it was a very popular bed and breakfast that I was running. It was full all the time. And then there's this virus that showed up called COVID-19. And the government says all bed and breakfasts must be closed. I see people, stocking up on toilet paper and canned food, and everybody's panicking. I come across a live video of Dr. Michael Laitman from the very beginning. Everybody's panicking, and this man, he's sitting here at his desk saying that it's a good thing and that we should welcome it. I found it was really interesting, and I subscribed to the YouTube channel. People there, they call him Rav. I'm not picking up the true reality. I started asking questions and watching all the videos. As soon as the economy is going to reopen, okay, David, back to work now. Telephone, sorry. One of my neighbors is doing a live stream right now, so yeah, I guess if she can do a live stream, it's okay for me to talk to myself. Ching, just want to click, it's for that, it's for this, it's for this. Thank you, I don't have anything else to say. We'll continue the lesson now.
Every movement that someone makes happens because of one calculation. They were uncomfortable and moved to a new position, believing this one will bring more pleasure than the previous one. This desire to fill a lack with pleasure is what motivates everything in reality. And with this lack and filling, we can go from our physical world with limitations and suffering past the barrier into the spiritual world. The Kabbalists tell us that our first desires for pleasure were very basic. It was needed for survival, and we have this in common with animals. It's the desire for sex, food, and shelter. Everything we did at this time was to fill this pleasure. When this pleasure was filled, a bigger desire grew, and this was for wealth. It's a collection of the previous category, but not needing to worry about it and having control over it. When this pleasure was filled, an even greater desire grew, and this was one of power. This too included all the previous categories. This not only happens to an individual in their lives, but it's happened to humanity as a whole throughout history. After the desire for power, an even bigger desire grows, one for knowledge. This too included all of the previous categories and includes art, religion, and science. When you dive into this desire, you see as well that it's empty. The Kabbalists say the next desire that develops is a point in the heart. This desire is very different from the previous desires because it not only includes all the previous desires from this world, but also from what's beyond it. This desire can grow continuously until it fills our entire existence and brings us into the spiritual world.